Next question. The 2013-2014 OpTiC gaming roster in their prime versus the current 2020 Chicago Huntsman.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new edition of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. This is the first time that I've done an intro in quite a few episodes, so I'm excited. And I felt like it was only fitting that I take the reins on this one because joining us today is the one and only, one of the most successful esports contributors, founders, godfathers, the man, the myth, the legend himself, one of my best friends on this earth, my brother, Hecz Rodriguez, formerly the founder and CEO of OpTiC Gaming, now a co-founder, essentially a partner at NRG and Chicago Huntsman. Hector, thank you very much for joining us today.
Dude, that intro, I'm going to save that intro, and that's going to be the intro to every vlog that I do and upload from here on out, because that was gassed up, and I appreciate it.
Wait, you want to hear how I would have done the intro?
Yeah, please.
I mean, shit, ladies and gentlemen, do we have someone special for you today? This man is 40 years old, but his hairline is strong as ever. His skin, baby, soft as the sun beating down on him does no damage at all. He is skilled across many games and is definitely better at Call of Duty than anyone on the old men of Redacted. He's got over 1 million subscribers across his multiple channels. He leads one of the most successful esports organizations in NRG as a co-CEO alongside running the Huntsman. This man also founded OpTiC Gaming, Hector's OpTiC. And man, he's rich. He is rich. He is rich. Oh man, is he rich?
Good. I think.
But he didn't call you his friend.
Well, shit, he ain't my friend.
I noticed that, but it's okay. Well, listen, both of you, I love both of you. Thank you for having me. Nate, I was your first guest on Self-Made, so thank you for that. Jack, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I didn't get an invite to the CouRage.
Well, that's why I was going to bring that up first thing, because we were talking about guests, and obviously we try to record one a week, and so making sure guests are lined up is a very crucial part of the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. And when I brought up bringing on Scump again and Hector, I had just assumed we did the Self-Made podcast way back in the day. I had not realized that you weren't on the CouRage and Nadeshot Show, so that's on me, and more so maybe even on our producers and on Jackson. So I'm not to blame, but I'm glad to finally have you here, because this is, Self-Made was a dive into the entrepreneurial spirit of Hector, but now we're just going to be kicking back as boys, having some fun and shooting the shit and talking about all the crazy things that are happening always in the gaming world and just the world in general.
I'm here for it.
Good. Well, wait, Hector, first thing I got to ask. That's not the Hecz quarters you're in.
I'm in the mini Hecz quarters.
This is the first time I've seen you. I don't know if I've ever seen this camera angle or this perspective. I don't know how much you've been streaming or not. Okay.
Daily, so thanks for the support.
Yeah, I haven't been tuning in. Sorry. I've been too busy playing World of Warcraft, but what stage of completion is the mini Hecz quarters at right now?
30%. 30%.
30%. Dog, I look at that and I'm like, this shit looks great. It looks done.
There's nothing on the shelves. I got some artwork. I got some Supreme Kids collectible skate decks. I got artwork right here on the side. Right there. Boom. That's Pose artwork. I mean, it's a lot of work. A lot of work to move offices from upstairs to downstairs. But Jude did an incredible job. Like, if you exit this door, you go out to the backyard, and she made a stop sign with cross streets of Russel Drive and McAlpin, which the way she saw it is like, our lives were built on the corner of these two incredible life periods in your life. So it's pretty dope.
I love that.
I'm into all the boys.
I think that's actually going to be inspiration for a future tattoo that I want to get. I want to get, the street sign crossing over the street that I grew up on, and one of Russel Drive. I think would be fucking mint. It would look great.
Agreed. 100%.
Maybe right on my buttocks.
Ooh. Right next to the one you got of Hector and I.
Yeah, absolutely. They're photorealism tattoos, each on one cheek.
And both of them, like, if you look at the profile of the butts, we're both like this.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So anytime Nadeshot makes a clap, there's
do y'all want to see?
Hold up now. We got sponsors. Please, Cash App lets a lot of things fly, but I don't know if Cash App's letting that one fly, bro. No one needs to see that. No one needs to see that at all.
Speaking of Cash App, before we even get into any nitty gritty conversation with our wonderful guests, I feel like it's a perfect time to give Cash App the love and respect that they deserve. Just so you guys know, as always, this show is brought to you by Cash App. And if you don't use Cash App, then fuck you. If you aren't following Cash App on Twitch, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities to get free cash. They just went and gifted over $19,000 worth of subs to my chat just last week. So if you follow Cash App on Twitch, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities for you in the future to win free cash and watch great content. You may even seen some of your favorite 100 Thieves content creators up there. Twitch.tv/Cash App is where it's at. Finally, we are stoked to be working with Cash App to support the Gamers Outreach Foundation. As always, guys, when you sign up for Cash App and use the promo code Thieves, THIEVES, not only do you receive $10, but Cash App will also donate $10 to Gamers Outreach, which is an incredible foundation that provides video games for children in hospitals that are dealing with long-term treatments. Remember to use the promo code Thieves when you download Cash App from the App Store or Google Play Store today. Again, as I always say, guys, if you haven't downloaded Cash App, use our code. You hate sick children and you hate money, and these are all things that I despise about you. So go download it. Hector, I have a question for you, which I'm sure people have asked before.
Yes.
So obviously, this year has been a roller coaster for the CDL. You know, a lot of things, a lot of positives coming from it, some negatives. You know, they're still trying to find their way in the league. You've had the transition over the last few years with OpTiC, you know, probably not going in the direction that you originally had thought it would. And now being a part of NRG, you know, working with Andy Miller every day. You have the Duo podcast that you guys are working on. You know, you do this awesome Huntsman pregame show. The team is rolling up into COD Champ soon. So just like some really big changes for you and the work that you're doing and the organization that you're a part of. I'm curious, what have been the most glaring changes for you that have been the most difficult to adapt to?
Everything.
Everything?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Joining another org. I knew it was going to be different and hard. Simply because you know me, you've known me for the longest time. I'm very hard-headed and sentimental in the ways that I like to do things. So that having that adjustment, I'm not saying that it was too hard, right? Like, but it was an adjustment period that I had to sort of, you know, like for example, I don't know, I would forget to call Andy and be like, hey, how was your day? You know what I mean? And then he'd be like, hey, anything happened today? I was like, oh shit. And then I'm like in my head, I'm like, what the fuck happened today, right? And I don't know, just keeping each other, you know, informed of our daily is like a thing. And that was probably it, man. Having to sort of sit down and have a conversation about, you know, the way the day went. More than anything, having weekly company meetings. I've never ever had to do that. So that was a pretty cool adjustment. I don't know, but overall, I didn't think it was going to be also just as comfortable, right? I got comfortable in my new shoes very, very quickly. Obviously, I brought a lot of my friends with me. That obviously makes everything easier. I can spend a day in the shittiest places with all my friends as long as I'm having a good time and laughing. Like nothing else matters. And I think that was one of the major points in how easy it was for me to sort of transition into this thing.
Yeah, I guess that's surprising to me to always remember now that you're a co-CEO. I mean, I know firsthand after working with John for the last 3 years, my life changed a great deal because there's so many people that we're hiring every single day. The team has expanded quite a bit, and there's much more responsibility that I have now, not only to John as my business partner, making sure that I'm carrying my weight and doing my part to help the business grow, but responsibilities and communication I need to have with all of our employees at a certain level to make sure that I'm hitting all the notes that I need to hit. And I would imagine that had to be an adjustment, but I'm glad that you've gotten comfortable in your new shoes, as you said, so to speak. Are you still having fun? I mean, is there anything that you miss from OpTiC that you can't do nowadays or that you're not doing? I can't imagine it's much, but there's got to be something that you miss about that era.
Yeah, and obviously you know it too, right? Like a couple of like last month, I think you were doing an intro, and then you're like OpTiC Nadeshot, and you're like, holy shit, that's still in my brain somewhere, right? The hardest thing is that, right? Adjusting to the fact that I'm no longer big OpTiC Hecz. I'm just Hecz, right? Even saying Energy Hecz or Huntsman Hecz is like weird to me to say, right? So I don't know. It's been a weird adjustment period from that particular standpoint, because that was it, right? Like that was me. It was a whole package that was Hector. You I don't know. I couldn't find myself being anything else in my life besides that. So it's been weird a little bit. And it'll
No, I
always
totally
be weird.
understand that.
It'll always be weird. I'll be doing this, stretching, and then I'll see the logo, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I still see the logo every single day in my office. But yeah, it's weird, right? Like, because you sort of become this person that you sort of mirror and become the person that you are online if you don't try to be somebody else. If you just go into it and say, this is me, like me or hate me, I'm sorry, it's easier for me to just be myself than to try to, be somebody that I'm not. And that person was, OpTiC Hecz, right? I mean, I was talking about it today when I saw the Machinima logo, and I remember saying, it's like, what up, Machinima? Big OpTiC Hecz, you're coming in with the top 5 kill cams of the week. And then go into the thing. I like the intro doesn't work anymore, so it's weird.
So you went from Chicago, born and raised, essentially. I mean, I know you were born in Texas and you went back to Juarez, and then, growing up and, most of your adulthood, you lived in Chicago. And obviously I spent a ton of time with you there. And I talked to you a lot about it when I come to visit you. And even while you were out here in LA, surprised me for my birthday, just talking about how much you love Texas. And I know you could speak about Texas for days, and I'm going to give you that chance. But the other question that I have is more surrounding you guys have essentially retired houses, right? You for so long we had 60-50, and then you had McAlpin, whatever the numbers were, and now everyone was living in their own apartments. It sounds like Scump and Big Timer and Maniac and Embos and Flamesword, that whole core group, have sort of moved on to different projects or aren't really living in the same proximity as they used to. I mean, how much communication or how different does it feel now that you're not seeing those guys every day? I mean, how much has that changed, and how do you feel from just the detachment that you probably have had?
It's my life got turned upside down, man. I used to go to a place in which people were every single day, which I interacted with, and we went to lunch and we had dinner and we had breakfast and we created content together. Sometimes it was just me pointing the camera at them. And that was like a daily life that I miss dearly, right? But I very early on, being 29 and obviously having a wife and a kid, I knew that I was going to go through the fact that you guys too were going to be growing up, and it worried me like very early on. I'm like, man, like at some point or another, like they're gonna be grown-ups and they're gonna move out, and this will disappear at some point. And obviously it did, right? Everything changed. Big Timer has his girlfriend. They just bought a house. They're about to start building. He's got his dog, his cats. I mean, name it. You name it. What's his name? Flamesword lives with his girlfriend. Embos, has a girlfriend, a steady one. And then, I mean, everybody, bro, everybody has grown up like right before my eyes. And I expected that to happen, but it's sort of like you blink and then it's like, it's there. Look at Jack. Jack's got a girlfriend and shit. He's about to get a Lamborghini. He used to be at the Emerson with his fucking Buick LeSabre or some shit.
Bro,
a lot of things
in my man, Hector, I'm going to tell you something that might be a surprise. I don't miss living at the Emerson.
At the jailhouse.
Literally, when the first time you guys pulled me up there, I've seen videos. It looked like a prison.
Yeah, everybody felt that.
I mean,
way.
dude, I treated it as that. I didn't have a table. I didn't have a couch. I had Hector come over, I think, my place one time when I first moved in to like drop something off or help me with a reaction video or something. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't think I hosted a single person there other than like my dad.
Yeah, you can't. You can't host. And the thing is like I found a house that we were gonna put everybody in that would have worked perfectly, but obviously, different strategies, and it's just never ended up materializing. But I sort of wanted to carry on what we had going on in Illinois, the thing that made us so successful in many regards. So when we moved down here, I'm like, okay. The thing is like the guys also said, I don't want to live in a house. Like apartments would be dope. But then we ended up getting apartments at the Emerson in Frisco instead of like uptown Dallas, which was also a conversation that we had. We all sort of, thought and had this vision for what it was going to be like, and it just ended up not being. I mean, shit, man, we're like 3 years ago and we're still talking about five.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think content houses are tough. I mean, the idea as a whole, I think for 60/50 worked so well because it was so organic and everyone had the same goals and we were a part of the same team, like actually competing together. So no matter what, our schedules were going to be synced up together and we were aligned with our mindset and our approach to practice in some ways. In other ways, we weren't because of Minecraft and some other shit. But content as well, we were all trying to make it and we were still young and hungry and everyone was pretty much at the same level of success. So it was just, let's get shit done. And now I've been in a few different iterations of content houses and even living in the one that Jack and I are in right now. We have Brooke, obviously Mason Symphony's been here. He's part of Energy. I just think the landscape or how the house actually operates and approaches content is so different now, right? Because Jack is obviously wildly successful, spends the majority of his time streaming, and there really isn't much video creation beyond those streams and even the reacts videos that he's doing on More Courage, which is doing really well, by the way, the second channel. You guys should go check it out. But for me, it's like I have other responsibilities with 100 Thieves, and I'm not uploading as much to my main channel. You know, we do a podcast week, we do a content house. I have other responsibilities, phone calls, meetings, all this other shit. And in some regards, I do wish, you know, that old school content house feel and operation could benefit people that maybe aren't in the same position as Jack and I, right? Like I would love if Jack and I film more independent videos just ourselves for our channels, but I understand why we don't. You know, I just don't think content houses work well or as efficiently if everyone, it doesn't have the same platform that they're creating for in the same video format that they need to create every single day. I just think it's tough. I think it's a tough interaction.
I think they definitely work, and I'm hoping that it works now that we have the Energy Fortnite house. You know, with Clicks, Edgy, One Man, and you know, Ronaldo, and whoever I'm missing. I'm sorry, but I think it lends itself to have that sort of excitement that they once were, especially if they're young kids, the way that these dudes are, right? These guys are, you know, coming into their own, and now they're gonna get a chance to just have fun the entire time and create content, which was one of the things that worked for us, right? Like everybody was young. This was like their first experience. Therefore, everybody went into it saying, all right, let's make the best of this thing. And if you look at your lifestyle now, and if you look at the way that, you know, you were sitting on lawn chairs and sleeping on an air mattress, like it was definitely way different, right? So I don't know. I think that the content house strategy still works. It just depends on the period of life the people inhabiting are. You know, if you have a wife and kid, then definitely no.
Yeah, I think another follow up to that too is like I think content houses where the house is creating content for VOD for YouTube primarily versus like where my career is in streaming, Brooke's career is in streaming, Mason's career is in streaming. Obviously, he's part of NRG, but just the energy in the house. And you know, Matt's dove way back more into streaming. Like if it was for Matt where his goal was to get out daily YouTube videos, if he didn't have, let's say, 100 Thieves responsibility, or I didn't have a streaming contract with YouTube that was making me do X amount per month, I think that'd be a bit different. But because we're such a primarily streamer focused house, I think the beauty of what I view as the house is like, one, this house gets along so well, which is such a blessing. Like when we have everyone together, Matt, Haley, Brooke, Mason, me, Maddie, it's such a good time. And we really all do enjoy hanging out together. We can have just us six here and have a pool day, and it's a damn good time. And I feel like what's great is that we're all like adults that each bring something great to the table, and everyone can like let their barrier down and just enjoy each other's company instead of always feeling like we have to be working. Like it's almost like when I hang out with the roommates, I'm like, oh, this is me not having to worry about working, and then it helps me mentally reset to continue to tackle the rest of the stuff I want to tackle. But with that being said, yeah, I think that I think it would be really interesting. Like I thought I was going to do more, but I guess now too, because of COVID, and maybe now having the truck is something that changes that. Like I have video ideas that I want to do based off of just that itself. But I mean, Matt and I talk about it so much, man. It's like I'm waking up at 9 a.m. to pump out you know, a 6 to 8 hour stream, and then we do a podcast or another 100 Thieves content house video. By that point, I want to like hang out with Maddie, work out, or just do nothing, or play games with my friends offline that I've gamed with for 15 years. So these reaction videos, they've been great, and there's such an audience for reaction stuff now that I think that it's one of the future of content. I mean, there's a reason why Sidemen just literally created another channel called Sidemen Reacts.
Yeah.
I think that it's some of the future of creation.
Reaction videos themselves have done well on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years. It's actually like a really big market. I mean, somebody that people don't talk about enough, that, you know, I've realized how much success they've found, and I'm curious if any of you guys think of the same person, is Sniper Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Sniper Wolf used to be like a Call of Duty commentator that was really on the fringe of the community, and people knew that she created content and made videos here and there. But if you existed back then 5 years ago and saw Sniper Wolf, to now look at her at this point in time, she has absolutely blown up. And I'm pretty sure all of her content is reaction videos and just rewatching content, recycling that in her own format and having people watch that itself. And there's always been people that have found that format successful. And I think there used to be this stigma in my mind about reaction channels where, and I had the perspective when I was younger, like, you're not even doing anything. Like, how could I respect this? You're just watching somebody else's content and retooling it and reforming it for your own benefit. And I don't know why, but I used to hate on that. And now more so than ever, it's like you see even, you know, Pokimane, she came out with an apology video because the first thing that she started addressing in that video, she was talking about how her MCN was striking down channels that was using her content for reaction videos or for videos that were showing her in a negative light. And that created this whole ordeal. But then there were so many YouTube channels from the Fortnite days that were pure reaction channels or just other people's clips. And I know that's a little different from what I'm talking about, but there's obviously a huge market for watching other people's content in somebody else's platform or in a different destination. So I think it's really smart what you did. You know, we had like a couple videos where we did a breakout segment that we uploaded from one of our podcasts about Dr. Disrespect being banned from Twitch, or it was another video and absolutely exploded, that did so well. So I understand why you did it. And I think it's really smart. And a lot of people have ideas and don't act on them, but you saw the opportunity and you did it. And I think it's going to, you know, pay dividends for you in the future. I think it was really, really smart and really strategic.
I agree. I had my gameplays channel in which I did like a bunch of Lonely Islands. I did a whole bunch of Umu. I did a whole bunch of just like videos like that were just, you know, bringing me back to the way that all of this started. Obviously not one, I'm obviously not good enough to be entertaining from that standpoint. And when you don't play on a daily basis like I used to, it becomes like that much worse. So it's not like I could go out and get a gameplay. So we then pivoted to just uploading our clips, right? They call it Hecz TV, from Hecz Plays to Hecz TV, which is just everything that I've done or everything that I've said, anything, just sort of a re-signaling of a very specific clip that happened in whatever format, whether it's one of my vlogs, me appearing on somebody else's videos, et cetera, et cetera. I do think that, you know, sort of broadening the scope of your network, right? You have your own cable, right? And you have your HBO, your Showtime, and then your ESPN. On ESPN, you upload all of your gameplays. On this, you do your reaction. On this, you do, you know, your podcast clips. I've wanted for the longest time to make a cooking video, El Chefe, where I teach people how to cook Mexican food. Okay, I mean, just grilling and cooking and all that. I just never really like committed to it. And Jude, you know, has been on my ass lately about doing it. You know, finally doing it. Just do it. It takes literally 1 hour a week for me to create a show.
Yeah,
bro, this is mind-boggling to me. I cannot believe what I just stumbled upon. I brought up Sniper Wolf, and out of curiosity, because I've never watched her videos, but I saw that she transitioned her content a long time ago, and I knew she was doing better because I had followed her on Instagram, and her growth was crazy. Last 30 days on YouTube, she did 500 million views. She did 522 million views in the last 30 days alone, bro. She's averaging 18 million views a day right now.
She's got 21 million, dude.
Bro,
she's got 20.
If you go to Social Blade and check it, the growth of her channel in viewership, it is rising astronomically. Holy shit, Sniper.
5 hours. 5 hours ago, 821. A day ago, 2.4. Oh my god,
dog! If I was getting 500 million views a month on YouTube, if I was getting 500 million a month on YouTube, I would literally not know either of you two motherfuckers anymore.
About to get rich. Act like
I would be like,
no.
But holy shit, man! Yeah, that was like what we talked about on your podcast, I think, Hector, where like that one channel with 4 billion views A month.
Imagine
Uzalk was
that.
like, yeah, it's like $10 million in ad revenue, I'd guess. A month.
Yeah, a month.
See, I think Hector's YouTube channel could be so much better than it actually is.
Well, give me
And-
the tips, baby. I got people writing this down.
Well, look, man, and I think nobody can tell you how to do what you've done better than yourself because you've found so much success. But as you know, one of your closest friends and somebody who understands the lifestyle that you live,
Please.
I feel like if you gave up a little bit more creative control, I know you went back to editing your own videos, and I know that you enjoy that creative process. But if you had a producer like we have here at 100 Thieves, and you use the money that you've earned to reinvest into your videos a little bit more intensively, I think you could be massive on YouTube. You clearly have the personality for it. You understand the game. I mean, you've survived and prospered for so long on the platform. Like I said, nobody's going to tell you how to be even more successful, but if I had the money that you had, bro, I would just be doing rich people shit, man. I'd go buy a fucking Lamborghini.
Wait,
like
I got a banger video idea.
Okay.
You head to the NRG Fortnite house. You surprise them all with some sort of bag, a Louis bag, you know, just like 100 Thieves with the COD team.
Yeah.
I surprised the NRG Fortnite house with this. Next one, I did this with like showing clicks how to cook this.
Yeah,
you know, that's your cooking video, bro. You would have 1 million subs if you spent a goddamn 2 weeks around the NRG Fortnite houses doing fun video content that you used to do with the old OpTiC guys, but with that content house, you'd be at 1 million subs in literally 10.
Don't think I haven't fucking thought about it there, Jackie boy. Okay, don't think.
Well,
that,
what I'm wondering is, can I come along?
Yes, of course.
Yo, I'm about to go in there. Hey, Clicks, what up, bro? Hey, you want to be in a video together?
Yeah. No,
Can you
look,
host me?
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm with you, Matt. And the only people I listen to is literally my peers, right? If you're not a successful YouTuber and you have tips for me, I don't fucking want them. You know what I mean? I only take advice from people who have done it and are doing it. Experts complete shit, right? Everybody can talk about something, but until they do it themselves, they're not really, you know, tier 1 level experts. And you guys have, obviously. So I listen. It's just that it's, you know, a little bit weird. I mean, you know, now with the responsibility that you have of the meetings and the whatever, you name it, because the amount of calls, bro. Yesterday I was on the phone for I counted, it was like 6 hours, and I couldn't believe it because I'm like, what the fuck did I talk about? What did we get done? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm with
like you love fishing, right? And you've seen the success that Lunkers and Guggen Squatters have. Why don't you make more fishing videos? Why don't you carve out an audience that loves to fish? Or why don't you talk about your cars more, your trucks? Why don't you talk about your sneakers more? Like, there's so many things that you know so well and love and are passionate about. I just think using the income that you have now and the money that you've made to really blow those experiences up 10x could be really beneficial if your YouTube channel is what you cared about. Maybe you have different priorities. So.
No, I do. Listen,
You know what I think I think it's like a funny example. Sorry to cut you off. Is like, because I watched the vlog where you got the new Hecz garage. Like, dude, you just putting some sort of blur on the garage and having you, I think, a little bit bigger in it with, you know, with you pointing at it and it's blurred in the background or something. Yeah. Like, dude, it's, for example, like the Nadeshot gave me an insane gift. People always want to find out what's inside a box, bro. Yeah. Matt knows that firsthand.
Yeah.
Like, I literally think that the first thing that I would do is just, I would put, when Mr. Beast once told me he puts 50% of the work he does on his channel into actually filming his videos. And his videos are 24-hour challenges, 72-hour challenges, this, that. He said 50% goes into that and 50% goes into the title and thumbnail. And I experienced that firsthand when we did that paintball day. He brought up thumbnail photos more than anything else that day and brought up 5 different iterations that we took. And in the end, none of them were even used, because you can make the best content, but if your thumbnail isn't the best, and that's something that I've been trying to keep improving on, is like, it is crazy how it works. Like in regards to that. And I've worked with 5 different thumbnail designers. We've always been trying out new stuff. We continue. Literally, I care more about my thumbnail and title than anything, than anything with my channel. So
look, I look at my channel and I'm just like, it really doesn't make sense. It's all over the gosh darn place. You know what I mean? So I get it. I know that needs massive work, and I do care about it, right? Like one of my goals in life is to, you know, get 1 million subs on this thing, you know, and I know that if I go and spend time with Andrew Flair, who gets 500,000 views per video, working on his farm, or if I go garage hunting with Rob Lunkers or whatever. Like I have that audience that it's easy to access. Not only that, because they never seen a personality like this one. You know what I'm saying? They're like, they're all good personalities, but not this crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Have you? I know you mentioned it in the past before, and COVID has made things really strange. The world is completely different. Have you thought about still getting an apartment in LA eventually at any point?
100%. Yeah. That's happening. Jude's super down with it, which is obviously like the main one, because obviously I don't want to be like, baby, I'm getting a fucking apartment in LA. No, you can't come. Immediately she's gonna be like, whoa, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? So I'm like, baby, hey, do you want to get an apartment in LA with me? ? And then she's like, for what? And I'm like, I don't know, miss my friends, hang out, make videos. She's like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
I would love that.
100%.
I would love that so much, man. I was really looking forward to when you brought that up. Brought it up a couple times, but I would love to have you out here in LA.
Yeah, same. I love hanging out with both of you guys. I would love to spend more time with Wiz, with fucking Hutch, and like with Diesel. Obviously, like I told Hutch, I'm like, yo, would you do a weed podcast with me if we went out there? He's like, I think I would get paranoid. And I'm like, you smoke every day on camera, dude. Like, well, how can you? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that I would like to do that I'm just putting like excuses in front of it. And I hate that, because that's never been me. It's never been me until I was able to accomplish, the level of success that I did. And then immediately something happened. It's like something clicks in your head where you're just like,
you're comfortable. It's just like, dude, oh man, this effort, that's a lot of effort. I could just sit back and enjoy the fruits of my already had labor. Yeah. Dude, even when you visited, we talked quite a bit about me one day living in Texas, and I think it's like a real possibility. Like obviously I need to be in LA for, the entirety of 100 Thieves, and maybe there'll come a day when 100 Thieves doesn't need me to be in LA, or maybe there's a world where I can live in LA for a month and live in Texas for a month. But every single time that I've come to Texas, we just have so much fun, man. I'm motivated to make videos. You and I are always getting into some stupid shit, having a blast. And, no state income tax in Texas. And I know Joe Rogan just moved out there. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a really smart decision for him. He's just like, I'm trying to get out of LA. And it's so weird when you hear about, an idea, and it just seems like the universe lines up, and that all it shows you, where you have a ton of articles and people talking about how people are leaving LA in droves and fucking just getting the fuck out of here. And I was serious when I said me and Haley had like a very real discussion about what it would look like to live in LA one day, or in Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I love nothing more, man. That'd be awesome. Jack, the Emerson's still dope, dude.
I hope they still have my apartment available. I'm ready to go back. I'll not have a couch again. I don't need that shit. I said the same thing. Like if I was starting a family and stuff like that, I was ready for that point in my life. I would live in Texas. And will I go back there one day? Probably. Again, the no state income tax, that's lit. Joe Rogan signed $100 million deal for the Joe Rogan podcast. Heard how much them taxes would have been. He'd been like, wait, I moved to Texas and I saved how many millions and millions of dollars? All right.
Don't pay me yet. Pay me next year.
Pay me. Yeah, let's hold on out, man. Like Tim keeps talking about. He's like, heading on down to Florida. Can't wait to be in the sun. I'm like, motherfucker, you can't wait to not pay 12.9 goddamn % on that Twitch deal every year. Like, which I totally get, man. So no, it's insane. It's insane. The amount I paid in taxes, I could have by staying in Texas versus not going, not going to California. Let's just say I could have got myself, I think, one of each of the Lamborghinis. As
more. I said, I mean, you told me how much you spent, and then immediately I went on Realtor, and then I looked at my neighborhood, and I'm like, this one.
I mean, obviously that's the federal plus everything, but statewide, it's still ridiculous. I know, we've been talking for a bit here. We do have another wonderful sponsor here on the show that we have a fun little segment for us to get into that I think I'll be kind of guiding you guys through.
All right. I just want to remember, after this segment, I've got something to bring up to you guys. I want to show you. So producers, be ready to bring something up on screen. Make sure on my Twitter account, because I couldn't believe when I saw this shit last night. All right, Jack, go ahead.
Okay. So today's branded segment is brought to you by Totino's Pizza Rolls. You know how much we love Totino's Pizza Rolls, the Content House. They're always in every video. I think I have 8 Totino's Pizza Rolls in literally the last 5 Content House videos. I'm excited to share with you guys that Totino's recently partnered with Taki to make a brand new product. Totino's Taki's Fuego Mini Snack Bites. I had them and they're fire. And Nico basically ate the whole serving of them last time we were here because she loved them too. These bite-sized rolls are filled with a creamy mozzarella filling and dusted with that Taki's Fuego seasoning. These mini snack bites have the perfect amount of kick, and they're great for an afternoon snack or late night gaming session. And they're available now at retailers nationwide. During this segment, we're going to debate some of the hottest topics in pop culture, the internet, esports, and more. So, Hector, Matt, I'm going to give you guys a bit of time to develop your argument.
I love
we can go back and forth.
There's nothing to argue. That's my shit.
Well, we're definitely not arguing about Totino's Pizza
Nah,
rolls.
lay him on me. All right, Hector, we each have 30 seconds
Yeah.
to give our arguments, and then Jack is going to make the verdict on who made the better argument for which topic. So let's go.
All right, listen. Most overpowered gun in Warzone, Bruin or the Graw?
The Graw.
Come on, bro. Wait, did you just say Graw?
I'm going to tell you why the Graw. The Graw is the one for sure weapon that you can go to where you're going to shoot straight no matter where you're shooting from. The Bruin obviously has the larger clip, so that's like a negative. As laser beam as it is, I think that the Graw being more versatile is the most overpowered weapon in Warzones.
All right, Jack. Well, you could just chalk this one up to me. The Bruin is by far the most overpowered weapon in the history of Warzone. Not only is it an LMG that you can attach an assault rifle magazine to it, Hector, it's the same size magazine, 60 bullets in each. And this gun has the mobility of an assault rifle and the overwhelming damage of a LMG. The gun does have no recoil. It's like the same exact shooting pattern as the Graw. You could use a close range. You could use a long range. You could use a medium range. Every shot that you do takes down one full shield from an opponent. You kill somebody in like 5 bullets. It's fucking unbelievable. And I think the fire rate might even be faster than the Graw.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hector, I don't know what you've been smoking today, brother, but the Graw doesn't stand a chance against the Bruin. But you know what? It's all right. It's
I have a
okay.
confession to make. I haven't played Warzone in like 2 months, dude.
I was about to say, bro, I know your ass hasn't been on that.
Come on,
so this guy's all over the place.
I use the MP7 and the AX50, and that's how I have fun.
The AX50 ain't even the best sniper for Warzone. It's the HDR.
Look, the sniper is not the weapon system is not what's good or bad. It is the hunter.
Okay.
This M48 right there.
That is untrue because the Bruin is much, much better than the Graw. And the HDR.
I believe you. I'm wrong. I believe you.
Next question. The 2013-2014 OpTiC gaming roster in their prime versus the current 2020 Chicago Huntsman.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what, okay? From a competitive standpoint, this one right now. From a let's build a massive brand, that one. Any day of the week, I'm gonna pick 2013 for Infinity. It's just a magic moment like that will never ever happen again. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, who's better? Obviously, right? Like the team now, sure. Like the evolution people have been playing. Like we had Nadeshot back then, but Nadeshot was also like the biggest fucking name in all of gaming. So yeah. Boom, right there.
2013, 2014, OpTiC Gaming, 100%. You want to know why? We might not have been the best team that went to every event, but for damn sure everybody was rooting for us, and it made it that much sweeter when we finally did fucking win in 2014.
We
won the X Games gold medal, bro. I thought we were gonna get dead last going to that tournament, and then all of a sudden I started scoring in Blitz. I started getting kills in S&D. Everybody else was fucking going off. So it's not that from a competitive standpoint that we were the best team, but everybody wanted us to win, and that made the story that much better. So that when we finally did win, it was just this enormous celebration. Now the Huntsman team that you have, they just expect them to win. And that doesn't make it very much fun because when they don't win, people are just pissed off and telling Scump to go fuck himself and quit because he's washed up when he's really not.
You know, it's crazy.
Gaming 2013, 2014.
Yeah, from the X Games, thing, I'm gonna go behind the scenes real quick. I had a conversation that said, look, they may have fixed this match to get an outcome, but now they have to capitalize on that loss. Like some people lost on purpose. I'm not gonna say who, Parasite. I'm not gonna fucking say who. Okay, but they lost on purpose, and then when the next round came for them to do something, they weren't able to do it, and that gave us the clear path to win that gold medal. Oh, fuck y'all.
Damn. All right. I'm making one up on my own. Call of Duty 4 versus Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, who won though on the second one?
Oh,
I don't remember.
100%. If it was, this is a skill matchup, Matt. Envoy would be running circles around your bitch ass, dog. Don't get it twisted. That fool's on crack. You were playing Minecraft. That fool's running routes in S&D.
Convoy is nasty, bro, but who got more championships?
Shit.
All right,
They can't talk shit to you, dude. They cannot.
And on top of that, bro, if they want to count these league events that they have every fucking weekend for this last year, they for damn sure better go back and count all the 2Ks and 5Ks from Ghost and Advanced Warfare that we won, because those tournaments were harder than the events that they play now, bro. Way harder. You had a 128 team bracket. You had to beat like 5-6 pro teams to win those tournaments. And now they got to win like
dodging DDoS attacks. You know,
bro, they got to win like 2 matches. I want like 20 more majors added to my fucking Wikipedia page.
Wow, he snapped. All right, Modern Warfare 2 versus COD 4.
COD 4.
I knew that was gonna be you. I was interested to hear Matt's answer more.
COD 4. I just think that the things that you could do in that game, you know, from the old school mode, jumping out of maps, having fun with your boys, you know, the S&D matchups that you would have. For me, I'm always going to go back to like the PCLs. You know, you're like a young kid trying to make it as a pro, and you know Team Fear is posting a match, and you know they're playing right now. And if you accept that match finder, bro, you might fuck up the record on your team, but you're going to have a chance to beat the best team in the world. Nowadays, there's no opportunities like that. You know, you can, like, if I were Joe Schmo signing up for a tournament, I'd never have the opportunity to play Scump. But COD 4, the matchups, the league, everything, it was way better than Modern Warfare 2. Plus, the M48-3 was elite.
Did you run ACOG on it ever, Hector, or my bitch if I ran ACOG on it?
Yes. Yes. No training wheels here. The Reg
okay, well, I love the little ACOG,
the Reg
bro.
Evolution. No steady aim, just you and your rifle. Okay. And everybody had a rifle, and they named him.
Fine. I'm going to chalk that up to neither of you win. The winner of the segment is me, because after this, I get to go eat the brand new Totino's Pizza Rolls in collaboration with Taki's, the Totino's Taki mini snack bites.
You said Takis, and you have my heart, baby. You know how I get down.
All right. Well, Totino's, we appreciate you always supporting this organization and this podcast and this team. But now, what I wanted to bring up earlier, man,
whoa. Can 5757 Main Street, Unit 201. Send me some fucking Totino's. You know what I'm saying? I think
we can do that. We can do that.
That's easy. That's done. Don't forget about it. Yo, producers, pull this up on screen, man. I was browsing my Twitter feed last night, and I was absolutely mind blown. What's happening in Wuhan, China, the original epicenter of the coronavirus. Bro, they right now, the other day, they had a pool party with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. They're having like shoulder to shoulder in the same water, a DJ up on stage. It is unbelievable, bro. I didn't think it was real. Like, I could not fathom that this was actually happening in Wuhan. They were on lockdown like 3 months ago. What the fuck happened? How is this possible?
Well, look, man, just let it happen, dude. You know, just let it happen.
What?
Survival of the fittest, man. You know, some people need to go. You know, it's time.
No. The thing is, they've essentially like eradicated the virus.
Oh yeah. Well, look, there was no political ties to it. Nobody tried to politicize the fucking thing. Nobody said if you wear a mask, you are anti-American, and nobody said if you don't wear a mask, you're a fucking selfish fucking asshole. Right? So it's a lose-lose, especially here in goddamn Texas. I'll tell you that much.
I just thought that your guys' reaction would be as mind blown as mine. Like this.
No, I mean it's mind blowing at the same time, dude. I'm so sick of this shit that we're in the point that we're in that I can't fucking take it. So I see this shit and I'm like, you know what? I hope every fucking country does this so that we can look even more like idiots compared to the rest of the world, because exactly what we are right fuck now.
Yeah.
If this didn't happen, this would not be at the level it is if this wasn't an election year. That's all I'll say without getting too political. If this wasn't an election year, this entire pandemic would be treated entirely differently. Mic drop if I could drop it.
Hector,
there you go.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, something came to life in this world that I knew you were probably in love with, foaming at the mouth to just be a part of it and watch it. Thoughts on The Last Dance? Michael Jordan, a young generation finally learning about the true greatness that was Michael Jordan. And at one point, you were even featured in the documentary. You were at one of the celebrations. I forget which year, but
1997.
What a fucking show, man. Like, was there like a sense of happiness now that all the people that you argue with saying LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, which I'm not saying one or the other, but now people can truly understand the dominance that was Michael Jordan. That had to be a great moment for you.
It was, and I waited until the whole thing was done because I knew that I wanted to be in my theater room by myself, watching it uninterrupted. Mostly because just in case I fucking wanted to jerk off, I wanted to enjoy it by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
I'm dead. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So look, I was waiting for it. Obviously, I'm a big Jordan fan, and you know it was good to experience that. I was not expecting to be in that. I went to the rallies. Yeah. One rally, that one, and I never went back to him again. I don't know, even if we would have won more, we wouldn't have gone back. Getting up at 12 a.m. to go, or just staying up all night, take a train downtown and be with a whole bunch of people, just like celebrating something great. It was awesome. So seeing him in person again, again, it felt good. Seeing it and reliving my 90s, my high school years was super awesome, dude. It was fucking great.
Dude, I haven't watched it yet.
I think it's one of the best like mini series that I've ever seen. I mean, shout out to the producers and the director. It must have been like a very, very difficult process to whittle down all that footage and find the right storyline and the way to interweave the years that they covered. And what a fucking show, man. I was in love with it. You know, Symphony actually watched The Last Dance for the first time, and he's never watched basketball before. He's like, dude, I had no idea Michael Jordan was this awesome. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Michael fucking Jordan, dude.
He's like, dude, I had no idea it was so good. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's Michael fucking Jordan, dog. Like,
yeah, the thing about the LeBron thing is like I think that LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I think he's the greatest basketball player of this era, 100%. But until you've accomplished what you accomplished, and look, man, there was no flopping back then. I'll show you video after video where people were walking off, being carried because of like the punches that they were receiving. Not that like people talk shit about the mailman and the plumber, Joe Plumber, that they were competing against, but these dudes will beat the shit out of you. Like if you went down in the post, I'm talking about punches, right? Like Larry Bird may seem lanky and may seem like this thin dude that I mean, you name anybody in the NBA, we'll post them up with no problem, sure, but they're not just gonna let that happen. They're gonna punch you. You know what I mean, like there was no blood, no foul was the motto in the 90s.
Yeah. All right, Hector. You've got Huntsman coming up, competing in COD Champs. You know, you're obviously working every single day on NRG, but we talked about bigger ideas for your YouTube channel and all these other things. But I'm curious, like in your mind, you know, what's the next project? Like what is really getting you excited that you're laying the foundation for, starting to build right now? I mean, you obviously have a ton of responsibilities, but there's got to be something in your head that you're looking forward to right now. I can't imagine that there isn't. Like, what is on your horizon that you're just like, fucking right, let's go?
Yeah, look, from a business standpoint, there's so much shit that I'm involved in now that, you know, that I don't have to be there on a daily basis for, and all I have to do is like maybe offer my advice on a monthly basis. Like if that, it's mostly just going out to dinner or going out to lunch with friends. But aside from that, like I truly am starting to focus more on the me, right? I want to create more artwork, right? I want to, you know, make a move back into fashion, essentially. Obviously with the villains, we've always created like pretty cool apparel. A friend of ours, really good friend of ours, Danny from Modest, like had a really, really successful clothing brand in Chicago called Modest. It was a skate shop. It fucking banged. Everything was super cool. So we have a lot of that's in the air. I mean, obviously the obvious is the obvious, right? Like a family energy like that gets taken care of. Priority number one, that's that. But in the background, like I'll continue to always be a creative. I want to get back into art as heavily as I was in a time where I had all the free, well, not all the freedom, but I had some freedom to create. So for me, is continue to create, man. I'm an artist at the end of the day, and that's what I identify it as. It's a gosh darn graffiti artist, and everything else comes second. Again, for all those who didn't hear me the first time, family first, business, and then this thing that is me, right? I always put myself third because I'm a person that gives more than takes. You know what I'm saying?
How much can I ask you about your personal life on this podcast?
Ask away, brother. I'll tell you no if I don't want to answer it.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously I've known you for a long time. I've seen different evolutions of the family. You know, you got a lot of dogs living at the house, but I asked you when you were here before, you know, you always ask people that you haven't seen in a while, how's the family? You know, you've got a young daughter who's getting older and older every single year. And I don't know if people ever ask you the question or, you know, care enough to ask, but like for you, how rewarding or how much have you enjoyed being a father? You know, because you've essentially been the father to so many young players in Call of Duty. and that's one step of what you've accomplished and what you've done. But I don't think anybody asks enough about what it's like to be an actual biological father with a daughter that's getting older and older, smarter and smarter every single year, more perceptive to what her dad does and the world that you've built, the life that you've given her. What I just want to hear more about it. Like what's been going on in the Hecz household?
It's everything that you would ever hope for, right? And the reason, one of the main reasons I don't talk about it is because I literally always get choked up talking about Liv. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how great she is because that's super biased, right? Like she could do no goddamn wrong, all right? That's my baby. But seeing her grow up and now have the conversations that she has, learning so much from her mom, learning so much from me, and the way that I am, like some of the attitude and some of the mannerisms that you see in a conversation with her, like literally just sort of mirror what you've done, and you're like, man, that's me in a different life form. And it's incredible, right? Like it's one of the greatest joys, one of the greatest motivators. I meant it when I said that, when before she was there, I was just some dude going through life, just not knowing shit. And the second that I met her, it's sort of like everything opened up for me, and I knew that I was meant to be something more, right? It was no longer about me. It was no longer about anything else besides her. And it's awesome, man. Like I wouldn't trade it for the world. Just like, man, just seeing her watch a show that she hasn't seen. Like she's never seen Jurassic Park. She saw that, like seeing her fucking just fall in love with movies that I fell in love with as a kid. Like it's super, super rewarding because, we share those sort of moments, right? And she's mad funny too. So as long as she gets to like right below my sense of humor, like I'll be super hyped. If she gets to my humor, that's too far, and if she gets to my brother humor, then that's just like come way back.
Yeah, we gotta figure some stuff out.
Yeah, so the gaming community ever?
Yeah, I think that I always see what we do both in the internet world and also on the way that we are as parents, as just regular people. I think that we have to sort of create a better world for our for the next generation, and to me that's like being as tough as I possibly can, which sucks sometimes because I'm tough, but I also have to remind myself that she's 10 years old and I can't expect what I expect from her. But yeah, man, I think just being better and leaving this place a better place for them to. I mean, think about what we're going through right now, right? Like I think our generation, my generation specifically, like I'm 40 years old, and everybody talks shit about the millennials, right? Everybody talks about how lazy these motherfuckers are, how they don't do shit, how they expect everything's handed to them. But it was like my generation of assholes that sort of made this world the way that it is. The participation trophies didn't come from my parents, they came from us. That came from our weakness in saying like everybody should win. Like it's dumb. So I don't take responsibility for that because I've never been that person, right? But a lot of our generation was the one that sort of made what it is today. So can't be blind to that.
I'm telling you right now, I think one day down the road, Liv's gonna get older. She's gonna be like, oh, there's this cute boy, yada yada. Can I go on a date? Matt and I are gonna be squared up like this.
Yeah.
Send him my way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I think Hector and his brother are already going to be doing it. It's going to be straight out of fucking Bad Boys, dude.
Hector's going to be like the mob boss, like in the background, like smoking the cigar, and then it's going to be me, you, and his brother just like beat him motherfuckers ass.
Dude, I feel sorry.
We're the mob boss. We'll be your hand. We'll handle it, Hector. Don't worry.
What's crazy is like I expect that to be a thing, and Judith has done a fucking incredible job of like changing my mindset as to what that's because I've always been like with my sisters, I was super like overprotective, right? Like I have a sister that's younger than me by 1 year, and I was like overly jealous and overprotective of that because it's just the way that I grew up. And with Liv, I was the same way. I'm like, oh man, I feel sorry for whoever she brings here because I'm gonna be so nice in front of her. But the second she goes upstairs to go getting her prom dress or whatever, I'm gonna fucking have a conversation with this dude, and it's gonna go something a little bit like this. Hey, I'm watching. Okay, I'm from the '90s, dude. Okay, you see this? Yeah, I've been in a fight. Have you ever been in a fight? No, you can't take my daughter then, pussy. What if somebody offends her? You have to step up, and you can't. So yeah. I don't know. But Jude's like it has to happen. Blah 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 blah. So I don't know, man. I'm expecting it. I will react a certain way, and I just hope that I rise to the occasion. I'm a better man that I am today in a situation like that, because I don't think I have the strength to not be an asshole, dude. I don't have this.
Well, you don't have the strength to do that like in everyday life, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah. Shit. I mean,
That's also true. Well, this is again. I know. I'm trying to be.
man, dude, it's we got so much to look forward to at that. Hector, when I think of things that I'm excited about, one thing that comes to mind is I want to actually go and fish, but on your boat and fish bass, because I don't like deep sea fishing. We talked about deep sea fishing last time you were here. You don't really like it. I don't really like it. Not something I need to do, but I do enjoy straight up just fishing for bass for a nice little boat. No crazy wake. No, not seeing the land. I don't need that shit.
I got everything for you, right? It's not no nice little boat, right? It's an Apex Z21 Skeeter, top of the line Ferrari of boats, the creme de la creme. Okay, so I'm with you. I got all the lakes that you need to go to, and I think we'll have a good time, man.
I've still never been fishing, man.
I can't believe Seth went fishing with me, right? And he was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." Blah blah. And immediately, bro, he caught the first fish, and immediately he's like, "We got to go back. We got to go back."
That's all my dad and I did growing up was fish.
That's dope, man.
Lake Street up in Ridgewood, New Jersey, that we'd go to. My uncle's dock up in Speculator, New York. We'd fish, and there'd be like rock bass right below the dock, and I just love it because I'd see him swimming, and my 12-year-old self would be out there with just a piece of worm on the line. I'd just drop it down, bobber and all. Bobber would go under. I'd reel it in. I'd catch fish by just dropping it in.
Yeah.
It's like fishing in a barrel.
Love it.
So good, man. So good.
I love fishing. I moved to Texas. One of the main reasons was because of that. So I don't know. I just wish I did it more. And I think that now that the boat is literally 5 minutes away from my house, I think that that's gonna be like an easier time to do it.
So fun, man.
When are you coming fishing, Nate?
I would love to, man. I mean, we talked about it when you were here. You know, Haley and I would love to come visit Texas. I mean, you know, quarantine or COVID or not, I feel like, you know, we're pretty responsible about the people that we spend our time with, or, you know, wearing masks or not going out at all. And I feel like we could come and visit Texas regardless of the state of the world, and it would be fine. So I would love to, man. I mean, every single time that I've come to Texas and hung out with you, bro, it's like, I always look forward to it again. It's like one of my favorite getaways, just because the last few times I stayed at your house and we were just mobbing bullet. You know, your post about it the other day about being at the house, it was a really great caption. You know, it's like there's people that you could spend years and years away from them, and once you're back in the same room, it's like the time that you were apart, it never even happened. And so like you and I always have so much fucking fun, and I would love to just introduce Haley to that and just like go out to dinner. And then you and I go kick it. You know, I would love to get out there and go fishing, man. And there's no reason why I can't do it soon, because it's not, dude, as long as I bring my camera and vlogging, I'm working. So I would love to, man. The road trip in the Lamborghini, bro. Hey, man.
It's a little bit long of a road trip.
Do not put those miles on that.
It's a little bit long of a road trip. But no, man. Yeah, I want to come out there. I haven't been back since I left.
That's fucked up.
You know what I love about Texas too is that they on every single corner, bro, there's a place where you can get chicken strips. I love that shit.
I love that you knew how to answer the question, bro.
Yeah, He's like, let's go Racing Cane's? No. Fucking Cowboy Chicken? No, man. Let's go to somewhere. Go have Korean barbecue.
My palate's gotten more expansive. You know what I mean? I actually don't even eat chicken strips that often anymore. I mean, last night, for my anniversary, I took Haley to the place where we really hit it off. I mean, we had met before, but the Nobu Malibu all white party was where we, you know, really started talking. And then directly after that went on dates. So I thought it'd be a great place for us to come back to. And I ate a bunch of different food. I mean, I had these ribeye tacos that had this crema on top, which were absolutely fire. And then, you know, she ordered, they had this special like yellowtail tuna or something along those lines. I ate short rib. I had some ribeye. I had some shishito peppers.
Dude, shishito peppers from there are.
Yeah, man. So, I honestly believe I mean, even a couple months ago before COVID happened, I was with Jack and Cole Cook, who we absolutely love. I tried bone marrow for the first time, which was like, holy fuck, what am I doing? I didn't enjoy it, but I tried it.
What? Bro, it's so tasty.
And I tried Haley's sea bass
tasty.
when we went to a steakhouse before.
Yeah.
You're growing that. You're growing. I'm proud of you. You have been trying more. You have been.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you
man.
are trying.
Yeah, I'm
You're
really
opening
proud
up.
of myself too.
Yeah, the worst thing I've ever had were worms in Mexico. They were like fried worms. Yeah, fried worms in Mexico, and you have them like chips with guacamole. I did it for the vlog, and I did it because I've never done it before, and now I know for a fact that I'm not a fan of insects of any kind. So I'm good. I'm so good on that. But at least I tried it. It's like skydiving, right? Like I was not gonna die and say, "Damn, I never jumped out of a plane." That was not gonna do. I was not gonna be that guy. When are you guys skydiving?
Hell no. That brings me no interest.
With Yes Theory.
With Yes Theory and Scooter Braun. Yeah, I have. That's just one of those things where I just have no interest. My biggest risk that I took in the last 10 years of my life was climbing to the top of a mountain that I didn't know I was climbing to the top of. It wasn't even a mountain, but I felt like it was 2 weeks ago, where it literally scared the fucking shit out of me. And now I don't need to do any more risk for 10 more years. I'm fucking good, bro.
You're good.
That brings me risk like that. I don't have any moment of like, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I put I feel no remorse for that either. It's just not me. It's not me as a person.
Look, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but as a graffiti writer growing up and going into yards late night and, you know, stray dogs and rats and fucking bums and you name it, you sort of get used to that adrenaline of like getting into trouble. So I think I consider myself an adventurous enough person to try certain things. I would never go base jumping. That's all flame sword. That's not me. You know, there's certain things that I just wouldn't do. Right. I'm as big of a home dude as anybody else. Right. Like I don't know. I do certain things, but I don't go over the top and like wild out. But if there was an opportunity to go to the moon, I would 100% go. If it was like,
do fucking what?
Just to say that I went to the fucking moon. What do you mean?
Yeah, I get that. But I'm going to wait till they figure Mars and I'll go there when I'm like 90 years old.
That's your plan.
Hector,
yeah.
you know, we had to wrap it up here any second, but I want to ask you one question just because I think I want to see you rack your brain and I'm curious what your perspective is, if it's any different than mine. What is your favorite memory or favorite story that you could think of, that the first thing that comes to mind about 6050 Russell Drive, the original OpTiC house? What's one thing that you look back fondly on, or you thought was funny, or you thought was dumb as fuck and you're glad you don't got to deal with it anymore? Anything that just, the first thing that jolts your nervous system, your brain, I want to hear it. And then we'll wrap it up.
There is nothing, really. There is nothing. Look, man, it was such an important part of my life. It was such a fun part of my life. Like, there's not one specific thing that I can think of that like made that period of my life better than any other moment, right? Like, I appreciate, you know, you having mice in your fucking closet, you having, you know, friends over and leaving a mess all over the place. Like that's funny. You know, Big Timer obviously locking himself in the closet for as long as he did. Scump, you know, obviously leaving the house, coming back, and then having his, you know, I don't know, his pimple medicine, like not giving him enough, you know, hard boners and shit.
Well, I don't know. Walking into his bedroom, all he's got is an air mattress, a blanket, and some lotion.
Yeah, dude. There's really, I mean it, man. Like there isn't a single one thing that I can think of. It's just that because when I think about that and I try to think about it, I think about me having gout. I think about you golfing at SportsMart or going upstairs and having like the stream room, what it was, you stealing diamonds from me and me laughing as hard as I've ever laughed before. I don't know. There's not one single thing that I can think of that beats the other thing, because it was like such a all-encompassing, incredible period of time in my life that I just, you know, I embraced it with everything, dude. It was amazing. I think about it all the time. I wish we would have vlogged more, because holy shit, man, what good times. Embos, bro, one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever been in my life. It's such a good everything, man. Everything about it.
Cosign. Hector,
yeah, I had such great
man.
times in that house, man.
Yeah, Jack, you were doing great. We loved when you came over. It was awesome.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you what. The biggest flex was when we used a $1,500 streaming setup to announce esports for Call of Duty, and we had more viewers than they did at Germany Gamescom or some shit. with like $4 million of like production and all this shit, and they couldn't hit the numbers that we hit with a $1,500 computer.
My last one, and I fucked up the most. Like everything turned out well for me, so I don't think about it that much as people probably think. But leaving Twitch to go to MLG, because I'll never forget the night that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. We went and bought the game on a whim and said, hey, we're just going to do like a 24-hour stream on the game. We're going to do it for fun. We didn't promote it. We didn't make it a big deal. Like we didn't put any marketing thought behind the things that we do nowadays. We were #1 on Twitch for fucking 48 hours straight, bro. We had like 100,000 people or something crazy. Or at that time, it was like 30,000 people, I think. But we were the #1 show on all Twitch, just playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on a whim. Man, we fucked up going to MLG TV. We love Sonny and we love Sebzo, but oh yeah, we know you didn't fuck up, motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't get shit. So yeah, no, I
all right. I didn't even.
No. Let's get fucking into it. First of all, somebody says, "Hey,
we're gonna wrap it up."
Million. Like, Nate, you want to be a millionaire by the time you turn next year? Yeah. All right. Oh, fuck. I wish I wouldn't have gone and become a millionaire.
Man, I hate being a millionaire, dude. That shit sucks.
All right, boys. Well, hey, Hector, thanks for coming on, man. Dude, I could record one of these every fucking week with you. You know that.
Yeah, I'm down.
As always, we want to say thank you to Cashapp and Totino's and for all of you guys that are at home listening every single week. And each and every week. If you guys have any suggestions of people that you'd like to see on the podcast that you haven't seen yet, I'd love to see the comments. And if you guys could leave a thumbs up on the YouTube video or 5 stars on iTunes, wherever you're listening, man, we appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go follow Hector. I'm sure you don't need to know where to find him, but if you want to, just go Google Hecz, man. A lot of things are going to come up. You'll be able to find him. So have a great day. Thanks for watching. And you too. We'll see you fucking later. Goodbye.
Bye.